Oh, definitely want a tennis ball. So we're going to use a tennis ball for a little bit of our work this evening. And we're going to start in a standing position. So coming up to the top of your mat. And once you come to the top of your mat, let your shoulders melt down your back. Let your palms hang down by your hips. So we're coming into Tadasana, mountain pose. Your feet are hip distance. Nice soft bend in your knees. Let your shoulders soften down your back. Tucking your tailbone up towards your belly button. Softening your face, neck, and jaw. Letting your tongue come off the roof of your mouth. And begin to, once you get all of those fidgets out, begin to tune in to the natural rhythms of your breath pattern. Ah, there she is. Hello, hello. As you get set up, we're starting in Tadasana, mountain pose. And just checking in with what you're arriving to your practice with. So, what sort of energy have you brought with you this evening to your practice? And don't judge such energy. So if the energy is not up to par, if it's not optimal energy, that's okay. It's all part of the process. No judgments, just notice. Notice what you are arriving with. And just breathe into what you notice. It's okay. That's okay. Totally fine. And so that's a really great reminder as we're quiet and still and checking in. If you do this, if you do that sort of small meditative practice at home, there's always, I don't know about you guys, but in my house, there's always a minor distraction. And so that's a great way to flex your meditative muscles by just gently redirecting your attention back to the quiet stillness once that distraction is complete. And so this week begins over the next several weeks, our focus on certain anatomical portions of the body. And we're going to work from the ground up. So we are starting this week with the feet. So this practice is inspired and geared around your feet. So the entirety of your feet from the heels up through the arches, so the balls of your feet into your toes, and all of the surrounding areas and tissues. And so as we know, our feet, of course, are connected to the bottoms of our legs. They enable us to stand, they enable us to walk, they enable us to dance, they enable us to run. And oftentimes we take our feet for granted. So oftentimes we don't think about how actually very important our feet in their entirety are. And so the purpose of this practice is to get us more connected with our feet. So you're going to begin by pressing down through both the inside and the outsides of your heels. Then bring your attention up the outside edges of your feet. So those are also called the knife edges, and press down gently through the knife edges of your feet. And then bring your attention to the balls of your feet. So pressing down through the inner and outer portions of the balls of your feet. So the innermost portion of your feet, or the balls of your feet, is where your big toes connect. So it's the big toe side of the ball of the foot. And then the outermost portions are where the pinky toes connect. And once you have done that, take an inhale and rise your toes up off of the earth. Spread them wide. So see if you can keep your eyes closed as you do this. So you're simply feeling versus seeing. And then exhale, spread out through your toes and pat them down one by one. So I started by patting down my pinky toes and then working towards my big toes, but you may start with the opposite. And then once you have done that, and you're pressing down through all those other portions of your feet, just take a moment to focus on how this feels in your feet, and what sorts of sensations you're experiencing, and what sort of musculature that this action is actually presenting for your feet. And noticing any areas where you may be holding tension here. Or noticing any areas where there's extra challenging sensations. So for me, the left arch of my foot, I have low arches anyway, and the left arch of my foot is a little more turned on by this action I'm performing. This is a fairly simple action, but it's very effective in building strength in your feet. And we need that so we can walk, dance, and run. So we're going to come into some foot stretches now. So you can slowly flutter your eyes open, and you're just going to rock back and forth on one of your feet. So into your toes and then back into your heels. Very simple movement. And perhaps you rise your heel up really high to stretch into your toes. That always feels good for me because it cracks my toes. Which is probably not a great thing for arthritis, but that's okay. And then begin to, with this same foot, just begin to kind of roll it around in circles. So you're touching down with all of the portions of your feet. Claire, by the way, you're going to want a tennis ball. So a tennis ball is a great prop for these little practices we're doing and getting into feeling into our feet. We'll work with that in just a couple of minutes. And then coming back to center, back to stillness, and you're simply going to do the same on the other foot. I don't know about you guys, but this challenges my balance. Just doing this makes me go, oh gosh. I definitely am good for building more strength in these areas. And perhaps you challenge yourself by closing your eyes down and just working with what you're feeling here. Back and forth, raising the toes, raising the heel. And then perhaps you draw some circles. I cannot do that with my eyes closed. That's definitely a challenge. But if you can, hey, go for it. That's wonderful. And just noticing what you're feeling here. So that's a big benefit of having your eyes closed, because you can really just work with what you're feeling instead of what you see. And then coming back to center, back to stillness, and now we're going to work with our lovely tennis ball. So this is a big one for me for balance, because the ball always wants to get away from you. or it does me anyway. I always have to chase it around. But we're simply going to bring the tennis ball under our foot, doesn't matter which foot, and you're just going to start to roll it around. I find if I bring it over more towards my standing foot, it stays put a little better. And so rolling it around this way actually stimulates the nerve endings in your feet. So the nerve endings in your feet are connected to different organs in the body. And so when you massage your feet, I don't know if you've ever heard of reflexology, but when you massage your feet, there are certain points that literally help to send good messages to turn on specific organs, such as the kidneys, the liver, the stomach, the spleen. It's very interesting stuff. Reflexology is a whole workshop, so we're not going to get into that. Not tonight, not in this class. And so just continuing to massage this foot. You may draw the circles in the other direction. And coming into your toes, so you see if you can get the entirety of your foot and moving as slowly or as quickly as feels good for you. All right, coming back to center, back to stillness here. You're going to step down with the foot that you just had the tennis ball on, and you're going to switch feet. Notice how one side is a little different than the other. That is definitely the way it is for me. Perhaps you challenge yourself here to close your eyes down. I cannot do that. It will definitely fall down. So as I was telling Leslie a moment ago, if you, I don't know if you've ever heard of reflexology, but this is a great way to turn on those nerve endings in your feet that relate to specific organs. In traditional Chinese medicine, it's called meridians. So the neural pathways that carry the messages from massaging your feet in this way or with your hands, which we'll do that a little bit later in the practice, it actually turns on and sends messages to specific organs of the body. It's very interesting stuff. But as I said a moment ago, reflexology is a whole thing, different subject for a different day. So we're not going to get into too deeply to that tonight. All right, so coming back to center, back to stillness, and you're simply going to scoot your little tennis ball off to the side. And then you're going to come with your feet once again to hip distance. Inhale, close your eyes down, bring your palms to touch at heart center. Exhale, let your shoulders soften down your back here. So our samastitihi, our palms pressed at heart center in our standing pose here. Soft bend in the knees, your tailbone is gently tucked up towards your belly button. Shoulders are soft down your back. Pressing down through all of those areas of your feet and spreading out through your toes. And notice any differences in your feet. Notice if there's a little slight buzzing of energy in your feet from us massaging our feet with the tennis balls. A practice I like to do before bed every night to help with the reflexology is I rub my feet with oil and I just gently press into my feet with my thumbs and my fingers, into the soles of my feet, all over every night before I go to bed. Not only does it help to turn on those nerve endings, it feels really good. Releasing your palms now, letting them hang down by your hips. Perhaps you keep your eyes closed or open them if you need to. Step your feet just a little wider than hip distance and just begin to rock and sway from side to side here. And so starting off nice and slow and bringing your attention to the foot that is garnishing the weight as you rock from side to side. Pressing down through all of those areas of the feet, of that foot, as you rock once again. And then perhaps you let your head get nice and heavy and sway also. And let each arm or each hand come down towards the earth as you lean from side to side. Just kind of breathing in to what you feel here. You can even bring your chin in toward your chest, so getting nice and loose and limber. This is our little warm-up before we start movement. Part of our little warm-up before we start movement. Take a deep breath in to expand. Exhale to release and sigh it out. Take another breath here. No need to make a breath to movement stance. You can just move as you feel and breathe opposite. And then exhale, navel to spine. Fullest, deepest inhale. Exhale. Come back to center, back to stillness. Heel toe your feet back into hip distance. Bringing your palms to touch at heart center. Press down through the four corners of the feet. Spread out through the toes. Inhale, rise your pressed palms up towards the sky. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Swan dive down. Lead with your heart to fold. Soft bend in the knees. And bring your nose towards your knees here. Inhale, rise up to a flat back. Hands on the shins. Shoulders down the back. Continue pressing down through your feet. And then exhale, nose to knees to fold. Next inhale, chin in towards the chest. Keep the head and arms heavy. Pressing down firmly through your feet. We're going to rise up through our zombie raise. And then exhale, we meet in our lovely Tadasana mountain pose. So throughout your practice, see if you can work to bring your attention with little glimpses back to your feet and what your feet are doing. Inhale, palms touch it, heart center, rise them up towards the sky, tailbone tucked up. Exhale, swan dive down, lead with your heart to fold. Nose towards the knees. Inhale, we rise up to a flat back, hands on the shins. Exhale, nose towards the knees to fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive this time, arms out and up, palms touch up top, tailbone tucked up. Exhale, let your palms land at heart center. Inhale, pressed palms, rise up towards the sky, tailbone tucks up. Exhale, we hinge at the hips, swan dive down, lead with the heart to fold. Last time before we add on to these movements. Inhale, hands on the shins, rise up to a flat back, shoulders down the back. And then exhale, navel to spine, crown of the head down towards the earth to fold. Pressing down through the four corners of the feet. Inhale, we rise up nice and slow. Zombie raise. And then exhale, we meet in our Tadasana mountain pose. All right, let's add on to those movements. Palms touch together at heart center. Inhale, they rise up high towards the sky. Exhale, swan dive down, hinge at the hips to fold. Inhale, hands on the shins. We rise up to a flat back, shoulders down the back. And then exhale, plant your palms and step your feet all the way back for your downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. So pressing down through the four corners of the palms this time. Grip your mat with your finger pads. Shrug the tops of the shoulder heads down and away from the ears. Next, inhale, we bend the knees, raise the heels and hips up towards the sky. See how high you can raise your heels here. And then exhale, heels and heart melt down to the earth. So maybe walking, if your heels are not touching the earth, maybe you walk your feet just a little bit more forward towards your hands, or your hands back just a little bit toward your feet. See if you can press the entirety of your feet down into the earth here. Take a deep breath in, press into the earth, and let your gaze go up towards the top of your mat. And then exhale, walk your feet all the way up to the top. Big toes touch or feet are hip distance. I'll leave that to you. Inhale, you rise your fingertips up behind you, up to a flat back, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, nose towards the knees to fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive, arms out and up, palms touch up top, tuck the tailbone up. Exhale, palms land at heart center. So we're going to do those movements 2 more times. Inhale, press palms, rise up high. Exhale, swan dive down, lead with the heart, hinge at the hips to fold. Inhale, hands on the shins, rise up to a flat back, shoulders down the back. Exhale, plant your palms, step straight back. Your downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana, and see if you can immediately walk your hands and feet towards each other so you can press your feet down into the earth. And if that's not comfortable for you, that's okay. You do not have to do that. Next, inhale, press the earth away, tops of the shoulder heads down and away from the ears. Gaze up towards the top of the mat. Exhale, walk your feet all the way up to the top. Inhale, float your fingertips up behind you, Ardha Uttanasana, flat back. Exhale, drape your torso over your thighs, nose to knees to fold. Pressing down through the 4 corners of the feet, spread out through the toes. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Arms come out and up, palms touch up top, tailbone tucks up. Exhale, palms land at heart center. Last time for these movements. And then we're going to move on even further, add on more. Inhale, 2, rise your pressed palms up high. This time as you exhale, hinge at the hips, let the pressed palms travel through heart center, and bring your nose towards your knees to fold. Inhale, hands on the shins, rise up to a flat back. And then exhale, plant the palms, step your feet, maybe not all the way back this time, so maybe just back far enough that you can press your feet into the earth. Inhale, we bring our gaze up towards the top of the mat, tops of the shoulder heads down and away from the ears. Exhale, walk your feet all the way back up to the top of your mat. Inhale, let fingertips float up behind you, Ardha Uttanasana, flat back. Exhale, this time clasp your fingers together behind you and let your nose travel down toward your knees. So perhaps if you have the space in your shoulders, your hands float up overhead. Perhaps if that does not feel good to you, you just let your clasped hands rest on your sacrum, the lower portion of your back. Take a deep breath in wherever you are. Exhale, navel to spine. Fullest, deepest inhale. And exhale. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale, release the clasp of your fingers. Let your hands float down to rest on the earth beneath your head. Draw your chin in towards your chest. Press down through the 4 corners of the feet. Spread out through the toes. And then inhale, we're going to rise up through our zombie raise. And exhale, we meet in our Tadasana mountain pose. Taking a moment to tuck your tailbone up towards your navel. Let your shoulders soften down your back, palms hanging by your hips. Soft bend in the knees. Soften your face and jaw. Pressing down through your feet. So maybe by now, maybe you just are naturally pressing down all of those areas of the feet and spreading out through your toes. And noting what you feel as you do that. Slowly flutter your eyes open. Inhale, palms land at heart center. Rise them up towards the sky. Exhale, swan dive down, hinge at the hips, leading with the heart to fold for our sun salutations. Inhale, hands on the shins, rising up to a flat back, shoulders down the back. Exhale, plant your fingertips, step your right toes back. Dropping your right knee down to the earth, and perhaps you pad under your lovely right knee, if that feels good to you. So left knee over left ankle. Inhale, fingertips forward and up. You're strong in that left foot. So press down through your toes and all of those areas of your feet. So the outer, your foot, the outer knife edge and the four corners. Gently drag right hip forward, left hip back, and then exhale. Sink your hips down towards the earth. Take a deep breath in, rise high through your fingertips. Breath out, circle the arms down and around. Fingertips frame the front foot. Next breath in, we straighten the back leg and move our blanket over. So I'm going to move it over to the other side for use on the left side. Maybe you even get light in your fingertips. Beautiful. Exhale, plant your palms and make your way to your downward facing dog. Next, inhale, ripple your body forward into your plank pose. So nice deep foot stretch amongst other things here. Exhale, lower knees, chest and chin down to the earth. Inhale, release all 10 toenails. Peel your heart up. Bhujangasana, Cobra Pose. Exhale, 2. Curl toes, hinge hips. Downward facing dog. Keeping your feet hip distance. Next inhale, you're going to bring your gaze up in between your hands. Exhale, walk your hands back to your feet. Inhale, 2. Bring your chin in towards your chest. Keep your head and arms heavy. Slight bend in the knees. Rousing yourself all the way up through your zombie raise. And then exhale. We are going to meet standing at the back of our mats. All right, so we're going to come into dancer pose. So squiggling your left foot towards the center of your mat. Once again, pressing down through all of those areas. That helps with balance and stability sometimes. Soft bend in the left knee. Tuck the tailbone up towards the belly button. Next, inhale, you're going to bend the right knee, raise the right foot up, grab a hold of the right foot with the right hand, and then exhale, you're going to bring your left arm forward and kick into your right hand with your left foot. You're beautiful out of the corner of my eye. Take a deep breath in here. Breath out, release that right foot. Breath in, you're going to rise your right knee up. Reach down through your fingertips, pressing down through that left foot. Exhale, step your right foot into the center of your mat and kick your left heel off towards the back right corner. So we're setting up for our lovely pyramid pose. Inhale to grab opposite elbows behind you. Draw your left hip and left shoulder forward. Drawing your navel up toward your spine. Exhale, you're going to begin to lean forwards into our lovely pyramid pose. Take a deep breath in. You're only about halfway down here for starters. You may want your block at the front of the mat as well. And then exhale, bring your nose even closer to your right knee. Fullest, deepest inhale here. Exhale, see if you can lean down just a little bit more. So notice what is happening in your feet here. Take a deep breath in, strong and stable. Breath out to release. Breath in, grabbing a hold of the earth or the block. You're going to rise your left toes up behind you. Breath out, drop left hip down, raise right hip up. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Breath out to stay. Next breath in, we're going to arrive in our Ardha Chandrasana, maybe. Ardha Chandrasana half moon pose. So peel your heart open to the left fingertips, left toes up towards the sky. You ladies look gorgeous. Exhale to stay. Inhale, rise the left toes, left fingers a little higher. Exhale as gracefully as you can. Make your way to your Uttanasana forward fold. So we're going to be in this forward fold for a few breaths. Take a deep breath in through the nose. And exhale. Fullest, deepest inhale. And exhale, bring your attention to your feet. So see if you can spread out through your toes. Press down through all of those edges and corners. Full, deepest inhale. And exhale. Next inhale, chin in towards the chest, pressing into the full corners of the feet with the toes spread out. We're coming all the way up into our zombie raise. And then exhale, we meet in our lovely Tadasana mountain pose. So what we just did is the most challenging thing we will do in this practice. So let's see how the other side goes. Inhale, palms touch together at heart center. Rise them up towards the sky. Exhale, swan dive down, hinge at the hips. Nose towards the nice, softly bent knees to fold. Inhale, hands on the shins. We rise up to a flat back, shoulders down the back. Exhale, plant your fingertips. Step your left toes back, dropping your left knee down to a pad or the earth. Right knee over right ankle. Inhale, fingertips float forward and up. Gaze goes up towards the sky. Gently drag left hip forward, right hip back. Press down firmly into that right foot. And then exhale, let your hips sink down towards the earth. Inhale, reach your fingertips high from right here. Feel how your right foot helps you be strong and steady. Exhale, circle the arms down and around. Fingertips frame the front foot. Inhale, straighten your back leg, your left leg. Maybe you even get light in your fingers. Look at you guys go. Maybe you don't. Exhale, plant your palms. And make your way to your downward facing dog. Inhale in this downward facing dog, we're going to bend the knees, raise the heels and hips up towards the sky, really pressing the earth away here. And then exhale, heels and heart to melt down towards the earth. Inhale, chin in towards the chest, ripple your body forward into your plank pose, shoulders over wrists. Beautiful. Exhale, lower knees, chest and chin down to the earth. Inhale, release the entire front side of your body, including all 10 toenails. Feel your heart up, Bhujangasana, Cobra Pose. Exhale, 2, curl toes, hinge hips, downward facing dog, and work to flatten your feet in this downward facing dog if you can. Next, inhale, press the earth away, look up in between your hands. Exhale, walk your hands back towards your feet. So your feet are hip distance here. Inhale, this time we reverse swan dive. Arms come out and up, palms touch up top, tuck the tailbone up. Exhale, let your palms float down through heart center. Release your palms and let them hang by your hips. All right, so dancer pose on the other side. I find for me in my body, if I heel toe my standing foot in towards center and keep a soft bend in that knee, it sometimes helps with balance. Really depends on the day. One thing I've learned from my yoga practice is everything just depends on the day. Next, inhale, pressing down through the four corners and all of the edges of that right foot. You're bending the left knee and grabbing a hold of the left ankle with the left hand. Exhale, right hand reaches forward and kicking in to your left hand with your left foot. You ladies look gorgeous out of the corner of my eye. Take a deep breath in through the nose right here. And then exhale to release, drawing your left knee as gracefully as gracefully as you can, up and forward as you breathe in. Breath out, step your left foot in the center of your mat. So your right heel comes towards the left back corner of the mat. Just standing here like this is a balance challenge for me. Good thinking, Claire. Got to bring the block forward. I think we're going to need that thing. I know I am. Take a deep breath in. Perhaps you bring opposite hands to opposite elbows. So if this does not feel good, if you have tight shoulders, you can always let your hands hang down by your hips. You do not necessarily have to grab opposite elbows. Exhale to drag your right shoulder and right hip gently forward. Take a deep breath in, breathe out through the crown of the head, breath out nice and slow, come about halfway down. So halfway down is a really good starting point. This is a fairly intense hamstring and hip opener. So if you feel too much sensation or if it's too much for you, either stay right where you are, don't go any further, or softly bend into one or both of your knees. Notice what your feet are doing here. So bringing your attention to pressing down through the feet and spreading out through the toes. Take a deep breath in, breath out. Perhaps your nose floats down towards that left knee. Fullest, deepest inhale. And exhale. Take a deep breath in right here. And exhale. Maybe your nose comes closer to your left knee. Maybe it does not as you breathe out. Take a deep breath in to expand. And exhale. Next, inhale, reach your fingertips forward. They either land on the earth or your block. Rise your right toes up towards the sky. Exhale, we're going to make our way to Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. So heart peels open to the right, right fingertips, right toes up high. Take a deep breath in. A breath out as gracefully as you can. Let your nose come towards your knees and your feet come to the top of your mat to fold Uttanasana. Your feet are hip distance or big toes touch. Taking a moment from this position to inhale and rise your toes up, spread out through them, and then exhale, pad them down one at a time, while simultaneously pressing down through the four corners of the feet. And we're going to be here for 3 breaths. You may bring opposite hands to opposite elbows. You may shake your head yes and no here. You may sway from side to side. You may stay perfectly still. Take a deep breath in. And exhale. Fullest, deepest inhale. And exhale. Take another deep breath in. Breath out, come back to center, back to stillness. Releasing your elbows, let your fingertips touch the earth. Inhale, rise up to a flat back, shoulders down the back. Exhale, plant your palms and step back to your downward facing dog. Pressing down through the four corners of the palms, grip the mat with the finger pads. Tops of the shoulders down and away from the ears. Inhale, bend your knees. Raise heels and hips up high. And from here, nice little foot stretch. Exhale to let your knees lower down towards the earth as slowly as you can. Beautiful. You guys beat me, or I beat you, however you look at it. Releasing all 10 toenails once you get there. And let your hips rest down towards your heels in your lovely Balasana, child's pose. So from this child's pose, Bring your big toes to touch and see if you can really point down through your toes here. And just noticing the different sensations that creates in your feet by doing that. Take a deep breath in to expand. And exhale. Fullest, deepest inhale. And exhale. Take another deep breath in. And exhale to slowly draw your chin towards your chest. Drag your palms back towards your body. And you're going to make your way to a seated position. So bringing your feet out in front of you. We're going to start in Dandasana, staff pose. So we're bringing our big toes to touch. Bring the flesh of the bum out from underneath of you. You're going to cross your right ankle over your left knee. Once you do this, you're going to massage your right foot. So you can start with your toes, work down through the balls of your feet, all the way to your heels. So just make sure that you massage the entirety of your foot. And this will help to stimulate those nerve endings and send those lovely messages through the neural pathways to our specific organs. Cannot remember off the top of my head what is where, but there's different spots. If you look up reflexology, there's different spots in the feet that will benefit from this massage. It's a lot nicer. I'm so used to doing it with oil. I'm like, oh my God, my fingers are sticking to my feet. And so one more full time to massage the whole foot. And then once you get to the bottom of the top, depending on respectively where you started, release your hand, your left hand, and you're going to bring each finger in between your toes. So this feels and looks really weird, but it is a great stretch for your toes. Once you do that, just start to draw some circles with your fingers in between your toes. Yes, it is a very strange feeling, but it is also a very nice feeling. We do not give enough attention to our feet. I know I don't. They get a massage every night before bed, but other than that, I don't think about them unless they're hurting me. So it's nice to bring our attention to this specific area of our body. And then reverse the direction of your circles, as awkward as it may feel. And trying to get as wide and deep. And you'll notice differences on different sides. And then coming back to center, back to stillness, releasing your fingers from your toes. We're going to do the other side. So we're going to start by crossing that left foot over the right knee and just start by massaging. So I like to keep the tops of my fingers on the tops of my feet and use my thumbs. I feel like I can get more deeply into the massage with my thumbs. So at least start out that way. And then if they get tired, then I use my fingers. And noticing what you might be feeling. So you might have some areas of tension that you didn't previously notice in your feet or your toes. And then one more time to massage the whole foot. And then releasing, bringing your fingers, your right fingers, in between your left toes. So kind of a respectively kind of thing. Your thumb is on the outside of your big toe, and then the other fingers are in tandem. And then you just draw your circles. Notice anything. So on this side, this ankle for me it's not painful, but it's noisy. And I don't notice it until I do this little exercise. So just noticing what you might be feeling here. And then reversing the direction of the circles. Lovely. And coming back to stillness, releasing your fingers from your foot. And you're going to bring the soles of the feet to touch. We're going to come into a butterfly position. So if your knees are floating and you don't like that, you can always bring your blocks, if you have 2 blocks, under your knees. Grabbing a hold of your toes with your hands, you're going to try to walk your heels as close to your groin as they can go. Take a deep breath in, close your eyes, breathe out through the crown of your head here. Let your shoulders float down your back. Really press the soles of the feet together here. And then exhale, see if you can bring your nose, your face, down towards the earth. So leaning forward here. If leaning forward does not feel good for you, please feel free to stay seated. So you want to see if you can keep your spine nice and long and your shoulders down your back. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. Take a deep breath in, breathing into what you feel here. Exhale, navel to spine. Fullest, deepest inhale. And exhale. Take another deep breath in through the nose. And exhale. Next inhale, release the hands from the feet. Making your way nice and slow with your chin in towards your chest, all the way back up to your seated position. Exhale, bring your knees in towards each other. So the nice way to do that is to use your hands. Getting your blocks out of the way if you have them. Walk the soles of the feet forward towards the top of the mat. So the outsides of your legs will look like a triangle. Press down into the earth with your palms. Let your shoulders soften down your back. And see if you can spread out through your toes and press all 10 toes and all of those corners of the feet into the earth. That's not as easy as it looks. It's definitely not for me. Next, inhale, you're going to rise your hands up. Spread your hands nice and wide. Exhale, float your fingertips forward and draw the shoulders down into their sockets. So the goal here is to try to keep our feet into the earth, pressed into the earth as we lay down on purpose. But if you can't do that, that's okay. Take a deep breath in and pressing through all of those areas of the feet. Breath out. Lay down on purpose. So as slowly as you can. This is our core work too, by the way. And once you get to your reclined position, straighten your left leg out. Tuck your tailbone up towards your belly button. Right knee is bent. Right sole of the foot on the earth. Shoulders are soft down the back. Gently draw your chin into your chest here. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Draw the right knee up towards the right shoulder. Breath out. You're going to grab a hold of right foot with left hand and rest your right hand on the outside of the right knee. So we did this posture last week. This is a reclined pigeon pose. Take a deep breath in. Press out through that left heel. Flex through the left toes and gently draw them back towards the left shin. And then exhale to stay. Next breath in, we're going to bring the right sole of the foot up towards the sky. Grab a hold of the outer edge of the right foot with the right hand. Let the left palm rest down by the left hip on the earth. And then exhale. See if you can gently draw that right foot down towards the earth. Keeping the entirety of the left leg pressed into the earth. Take a deep breath in here. Exhale, navel to spine. Full Fullest, deepest, most expansive inhale here. And exhale. Take another deep breath in. And exhale. Next, inhale, full happy baby. So keeping the right foot right where it is, we're going to bring the left foot to meet it. Exhale, 2. Let both hands gently rest on both feet and both knees come down towards the earth. Fullest, deepest inhale here. And exhale. Take another deep breath in. And exhale. Fullest, deepest inhale. Next exhale, release the right leg. Let the right leg lay flat on the earth. Rest the right palm on the earth by the right hip. So we're in our half happy baby on the other side. Flexing out through all 10 toes. Gently press both heels forward and or up towards the sky, depending on which heel you're talking about. Take a deep breath in here. Breath out. Gently let the weight of your left hand draw your left foot down. Take a deep breath in through the nose. And exhale. Fullest, deepest inhale. And exhale. Take another deep breath in right here. Breath out, you're going to cross that left foot over your body. Switch hands. So grab a hold of the outer edge of the left foot with the right hand and rest the left hand on the outside of the left knee. So our reclined pigeon pose on the other side. Fullest, deepest inhale here. Chin in towards the chest. Shoulders are soft. Exhale to stay. Take a deep breath in. Press out through that right heel. Flex through the right toes. And then exhale, draw the right toes back towards the right shin. Fullest, deepest inhale. Exhale to release the left foot. Bend the knees. The soles of the feet are on the earth. You can do this next little exercise with or without a block. I really enjoy doing this on a block because it changes the trajectory of the sensation. So if you have your block close by, grab a hold of it. Next inhale, raise your hips up. Exhale, rest your hips on your block. So you're kind of in a supported bridge pose. Shoulders are down the back, chin in towards the chest. Palms are resting on the earth by the hips. Next inhale, we're going to float both soles of the feet up towards the sky. Exhale, soles are facing the sky. Gently press your heels forward and up and flex in through your toes. Take a deep breath in right here. And breath out. Take another breath in. And breath out. Next breath in, point your toes, rise them up towards the sky. So we're stretching into our lovely feet. Breath out, draw your flexed toes back towards your shins. Heels press forward and up. Inhale, we point the toes, rise them up. Exhale, draw the toes back towards the shins. Heels point up towards the sky. Inhale, we point the toes up towards the sky. Exhale, toes draw back and towards the shins. Heels go up. 2 more like this. Inhale, we point. Exhale, toes come back towards the shins. Inhale, we point. And exhale, toes back towards the shins. Next, inhale, keeping your feet up, you're simply going to relax them. Just let your feet, the soles of the feet, face up towards the sky. Exhale to stay. 2 more breaths right here. So keeping your feet up towards the sky after you've been standing all day is a great way to get all of the fluids from the lower portions of your body to come backwards, pump back through your heart and your lymphatic system. And that helps to cleanse those fluids and distribute them evenly. Take one more deep breath in right here. Breath out, bend the knees, let the soles of the feet float back down to touch the earth. Rising your hips up, removing your block. Let your hips float down to the earth. Bring your knees to touch, feet as wide as your mat. And just come into some windshield wipers here, some gentle windshield wipers to release those movements that we just did. And take a deep breath in. Breath out, come back to center, back to stillness. Bring the soles of the feet to touch as you breathe in. Breath out, Supta Baddha Konasana, reclined butterfly position. And as in the seated butterfly position, if it does not feel good for your knees to be floating, please feel free to prop blocks under each one of your knees. Chin in towards the chest, shoulders are soft. Soften your face and jaw. Bring one hand to rest on your belly and the other hand to rest on your heart space. And simply feel, just feel the effects of this wonderful practice. So pressing firmly through the soles of the feet. Perhaps you feel a little buzz of energy there, the soles of the feet touching. Perhaps you bring your focus to the rise and fall of your abdomen and your heart space under the weight of your hands. And perhaps you direct your attention simply, your eyes closed, in a soft breath pattern. Whatever it is that you focus on, just breathe into that focus. Perhaps you adopt this posture as your final Shavasana. Perhaps you bring the palms to the outsides of the legs, draw the knees in tight together, close together, and stretch your legs out long for your traditional Tanasana or traditional Shavasana corpse pose. Whatever works best in your body to let all of this work you just did melt down into the earth and just rest. Letting each part of your body be soft and supple. And drop down into the earth. And perhaps you keep one palm on your heart and one palm on your belly. Letting that help guide your attention to your natural breath pattern. And every time your mind wanders while you're in your quiet stillness, every time your mind wanders, as it inevitably will, bring your attention back to your breath. Slowly beginning once again to deepen your breath. Perhaps you take a long body stretch by rising your arms up overhead and pointing down through your toes. Perhaps you windshield wiper your knees and your feet, knees or feet. Perhaps you give yourself a hug by drawing your knees in toward your chest. Making any other movements while you're still in your reclined position that feel good, that you think you might need before making your way back to a comfortable seat. All right, once back in your comfortable seat, whatever comfortable means in your body, close your eyes down. Find length in your spine. Let your shoulders be soft. Soften your face, neck, and jaw. Bring your tongue off of the roof of your mouth. And one final moment to bring your attention to your feet. So from this relaxed, normal position with your feet, notice what you feel. So notice if there's any differences. And if there's not, that's okay. And then taking the next few moments to send your feet some loving kindness. So showing gratitude for all that they do for you, because it is quite a bit more. We definitely have a tendency to take this sort of thing for granted. And we'll now bring our palms to touch at heart center. Bow your chin in toward your chest. Deepest gratitude to your body and your breath to be able to move, breathe, and practice in this way, in this space, and with each other. Deepest gratitude to yourself for carving out time to show up for yourself for your practice. That is always half the battle. Bringing your thumbs to touch at your third eye center, the space in between your eyebrows. And the light and the dark in me honors the light and the dark in each one of you. Namaste. Thank you, ladies.